We're starting a new chapter now where we're going to take a look at working with viewports and look in a bit more depth at how we work with those viewports and our annotation. Now we've got a new drawing for you. It's called new metal plate.dwg, and when you open it up you should see the plan view of the metal plate in your model tab. Now we're looking at viewports, so ideally we should be going to the plan view layout tab. So let's click on plan view. And if we hover over our viewport here, you'll notice that it's a viewport at a standard scale of 1 to 2. Now, the problem with viewports is if they're not locked, somebody can come along, double click inside the viewport boundary and activate the viewport, and then roll back on the wheel and zoom out, for example, and they've now totally trashed that viewport scale. If you look down here on the status bar, you'll notice that we've got some weird numbers now for our viewport scale. Now I can fix this. I can click on the arrow and set it back to 1 to 2. I'll probably need to do a bit of panning now to get the plan view back in. There it is there. And then what I'll do is I'll double click outside the viewport boundary just to deactivate the viewport. Now I can lock my viewport very quickly and easily. So if I click on the edge of the viewport and then come down here to the status bar, can you see there's a little padlock there? Selected viewports at the moment are not locked. But if I click on that padlock, that viewport is now locked. If I hit escape a couple of times, double click inside the viewport boundary and roll back on the wheels as if I'm going to zoom, notice the viewport doesn't change. I can then double click outside the viewport to deactivate it, knowing that my viewport is locked. Let's check out the sections and elevations layout tab as well. There's a viewport in there too. So this viewport, if I hover over it, is a standard scale of 1 to 2 again. But if I click on the viewport and look at the status bar, you can see it's still unlocked. Now, with the viewport selected though, I can lock it in a different way. I can right click and go to display locked and say yes. That now locks the viewport. So if I select the viewport again, you'll notice the padlock is locked and blue on the status bar. That's how quick and easy it is to lock your viewports, and it's a really good habit to get into to avoid people trashing your viewport scales in your AutoCAD drawings.